What's up, guys? This is Corey with the Dirt City Gym, back with another video for y'all. So today we're back into the anniversary box stuff, looking at a pretty cool deck. I'll be up front. This is not a deck I'm going to say is going to like compete for top tier or anything like that. It's probably a tier 2 at best type deck, but I think it's really fun. It's really interesting. It's going back to a set 1 leader. This time we're using Vados. She got some support from the anniversary box and all that kind of good stuff. So let's go ahead and get over into the list. Alright everyone, so for those of you who weren't around or just are unaware, our leader is Vados. And then on her, so she's got the permanent, this card can attack battle cards in active mode, and then whenever your life is at 4 or less, flip it over, draw 2 cards. On the back, she's 8 Vados, she's 15k permanent. She can attack cards in active mode, and then whenever this card attacks, draw a card, and if this card attacks a battle card, it gets plus 15k power for the duration of the turn. So whenever it's swinging into battle cards, it's swinging at a 20k, which is really good for board removal. Especially when you can start flipping with this early thanks to the new support from the anniversary box. So she gives her just really great board control. She gets around barrier and everything like that. She can just straight up attack battle cards, which is really good. Moving into the list, so first up we've got 4 Intensifying Power Trunks. So he's our 1-drop 5k. Whenever he swings, take a life, he gets plus 10k in crit. Pretty much everyone knows who he is. He's a great chain target. He's just really good overall. Moving on, we've got our first new card for the anniversary box. So this is Almighty Technique Vados. She's a 2-drop 2 red 5k. Auto, whenever you play this card, you may choose 1 card in your hand and place it in your drop area. If you do, for the duration of the turn, if your leader card is a red Champa or red Vados, you can activate its Awaken skill even if you have 5 or more life. So ideally we're playing this on turn 2 where it's still at like either 8 life, 7 life, whatever it is, and then we get to flip, draw 2 cards, swing, draw another card. So it isn't actually a neg at all. You know, you are pitching a card, but you're drawing 2 off the Awaken, and then you're drawing 1 off the swing and everything like that. So very good card. This is exactly the kind of stuff Vados needed. Like I said, I still don't know if it makes Vados like top tier by any stretch of the imagination, but it makes her more viable, that's for sure. After that, that's all we're ever going to use it for. She's just a energy or a 5k combo. Moving on into that, we've got 3 Chain Attack Trunks. So he's a 4-drop 3 red, 20k. He evolves for 2 red over at Trunks GT, which is our 1-drop Intensifying Power Trunks. And then he's got the auto whenever he comes into play. You can play a battle card from your hand with power 15,000 or less. So really strong, kind of floods the board, gets things out, maybe that we don't want to have to pay the energy for, or we don't have the energy for. So really cool stuff like there. It's just a 2-for-1, which is really strong. Alright, moving on, we've got our next promo. So this is from the Championship packs, I believe, or the Event packs, one of those. So this is Son Gohan the Avenger. So he's a 4-drop 2 red, 20k. He's a counterattack. If your leader card is red, negate the attack and play this card. You got the permanent during your opponent's turn. Reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 2. So he would still cost 2 red on your opponent's turn, but he's a negate, so it's pretty good. And then auto, whenever you play this card during your opponent's turn, choose one of your opponent's leader cards or battle cards and get us minus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. So this is really strong. So let's say they swing with something, you counter it with this. So not only do you negate that attack, but then you give either the leader or another battle minus 10k. And depending on how they sequence and everything, you can play this and effectively counter or negate 2 attacks. Maybe you're giving minus 10k to something that's 10k or less, and so it just gets put in the drop area, or you give it to a leader, so that leader now becomes a 5k. Or because we're flipping so early, our leaders are 15k to a 10k leaders a lot of the time, so you can negate an attack and then give the leader minus 10k, so the leader becomes a 0k. So all in all, really good. It is 2 red, which is a little heavy, but it's not too bad for what we're trying to do. And then also he's just a 20k beater, so after you play him as a negate, he can just kind of swing in, so he's really good there. Moving on, we've got 2 Super Saiyan Gogeta, the Acrobatic Warrior. So he is from the Unity of Saiyans, I believe is what it was called, the expansion pack. So he is a 4-drop 1 red, permanent. Only 1 Super Saiyan Gogeta Acrobatic Warrior can be played in your battle area, so you can only have 1 in play at a time. Auto, when a battle card that is both red and green with an energy cost of 5 is played in your battle area, activate this skill. You may play this card from your hand. So we've got a couple of different ways to play him. Ideally, you're playing him off of Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, the Resonant Explosion. But he also comes into play off the Full Power Broly. And then whenever you play him, He's just a 15k body that kind of swings in. Then he's got his other auto. Whenever this card is switched to rest mode by Alliance, deal 1 damage to your opponent. Alliance is only relevant for us on the Broly, which we'll get into in just a little bit. But just all in all, it's just a really good card. It's a really efficient way to get an additional card into play, which is really what we're using it for. Alliance is a nice bonus for it, but it's not super something that's going to come in hand a lot of the time. Moving on, and from that, we've got 3 Broly, full power Broly Resonant Evolution. So he is a red-green card from the same box. He is EX Evolve for 1 red, 2 green. Broly BR card with an energy cost of 4. All multicolor cards have energy exhaust, so whenever you put it in your energy, it comes into play in rest mode. Then he's got Alliance, so whenever this card attacks, you may activate this skill by choosing 1 or more red or green battle cards in your battle area, and then switching to the rest mode, and this card gains power equal to the total power of the card switched to the rest mode by the skill, and triple strike for the duration of the battle. So let's say you've got like 3 5Ks in play. Whenever you swing with the Broly, you tap all those, so he gets plus 15k and triple strike, so it becomes a 35k triple, which is really good. Then if you were to switch the Acrobatic Warrior, he gets an additional plus 15, and then they automatically take a life because of the Acrobatic Warrior's ability. So really strong there. Just being able to close games on a triple strike is really strong. And then he's got the permanent. If you play this card with Evolve, it can't be KO'd by your opponent. So this gets around stuff by like Sugesh. It gets around the Broly BR or Green Broly effect, all that kind of stuff. And it's not like limited to like the turn that you play it. It's just like a permanent. So he can't be KO'd once he comes into play. So they don't really have a way to deal with it other than warping it, which is really strong. So if he sticks around for multiple turns, he becomes a big threat. Moving on to that, we got Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta, the Resonant Explosion. We got a 4 of him, so he's a 5-drop. He's another dual color. He's Double Strike Rival. So how a Rival works is you play this card from your hand when you have a red card and a green card in your combo area, and then you pay a red and then you play him. He's got energy exhaust like all the multicolor cards, and auto, whenever you play this card, choose either one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less, KO it, and you can't play Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta Resonant Explosion for the duration of the turn. So this works really good. Because of how this works, you can combo up on defense with a red and a green, then pay a red, drop the Gogeta, and then pop something that hasn't swung yet, or pop the thing that's swinging right now. A lot of really good synergy there with what he does and what the rest of the deck's trying to do, but just being able to get a 20k body out relatively efficiently is really nice. Alright, moving on into our green. First up, we got 4 Cheelai Frieza Force Soldier. So she is a 1-drop 1 green auto. Whenever you play this card, draw a card, and then activate main for a green and 1 other. Choose up the 1 green Frieza's Army card with energy cost of 2 or less from your deck and play it, then shuffle your deck. A lot of the time, we're only ever going to probably get 1 of these out in play. She's a great player draw card that makes her playable, and then she's got the plus effect, which lets her search out a lot of whatever her green stuff is trying to do. So she's pretty strong. If nothing else, she's just a way to get green energy or a cheap 5k green to go into a rival. Moving on to that, we've got 4 Cheelai the Beautiful. So she's a 2-drop, 1 green, 1 other, 15k, auto once per turn. When one of your opponent's battle cards is KO'd, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it in the drop area. So now we're kind of getting what the deck's trying to do. We want to get Cheelai out and then use Vados to be able to swing at cheap little battle cards and just kind of KO them. Cheelai triggers, make them discard cards. Whenever we play Gogeta on our opponent's turn, he KOs a card, Cheelai triggers, make them discard cards. Cheelai the Beautiful is searchable off Cheelai Frieza Force Soldier, so we're able to get her out of the deck pretty well. Lots of different ways to kind of get her going. Moving on next, we've got 3 Speedy Partner Limo. So he's a 2-drop 2 green 15k auto. Whenever you play this card, if there's a Cheelai BR card in play in your battle area, your opponent chooses 1 card from their hand and places it in the drop area. So this is another discard option. It works off having either of the 2 Cheelais in play. We're able to play him off Cheelai Frieza Force Soldier, make them discard cards. So just really good discard card removal and stuff like that, which is, like I said, what we're really trying to do. We're trying to control the board and control the hand at the same time. Alright, moving on, we've got 4 Super Saiyan Broly Rampaging Rush. So he's a 4-drop, 2 green, 15k auto. Whenever you play this card, if there's a card that is both red and green in your energy area, your opponent chooses 1 card in their hand and places it in the drop area. So again, more discard, and then whenever you play this card, you choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. So he's able to discard a card, he's able to KO something, which then triggers Cheelai the Beautiful, which then makes him discard a card. He made him discard a card, so that's 2 cards, really strong there. He's also our 4-drop Broly in order to evolve into our big multicolor Broly, so that's really our best way to get into him. Ideally, we're playing this off of like a chain attack, so we're going 2 for chain attack, drop the Broly, make them pitch. If we've got 5 energy at that point, then we can just like go up and evolve right into the Broly and just kind of go from there. So really cool stuff. Like I said, there's a lot of synergy kind of going on with everything we're trying to do. Next up is Surprise Attack Frieza, so we got a 2 of him, so he's a 4 cost, 15k, critical. He's got the auto, whenever your opponent's battle cards is KO'd, you can play this card from your hand without paying its energy cost, and you can only have 1 of them in play at a time. So similar to the Acrobatic Warrior, you can play this right off of the Gogeta. So you play the Gogeta, you sack something, Frieza comes into play, and then Acrobatic Warrior comes into play for the Gogeta coming into play. So you can kind of drop 3 cards in 1 turn, which is really strong offensively and defensively. And just being a 15k critical is really strong as well. Moving on from there, we've got Fu, the Dark Banisher, is a 2 of. So he is an 8-drop, Overwhelm 8 for 4, triple attack. And then he's got the permanent, your opponent can't activate skills unless they warp a card from their hand. So basically, whenever we drop him and he swings, if they want to negate, they have to warp a card first. If they want to activate a super combo to draw a card, they have to warp a card first. If they want anything like that has to activate, blocker works as well. So this is really good. The idea of the deck going is that we're going to kind of wear them down with board and resources, lower their hand size and everything, and then kind of drop the Fu and swing in 3 times, and they're not going to have much of a hand at that point, hopefully, and he just kind of takes over the game. Is really what we're going for. And then finally for our super combo, we've got Hellas. So she's probably one of the better super combos that we can play. If our leader card is a god, which the Vados justifies that for. And so whenever we combo with her, we pitch a card and then we draw 2 cards. So it's similar to Hoi, except we're not restricted to like Hirudegarn. Not quite as good as Paragus, because we have to pitch the card first and then draw. So we don't have a hand and we try to combo with this, we don't actually get the draw effect. We only get the plus 10k. So we have to pay attention to stuff like that, but it's still very good to be able to dig through the deck. And then finally, we've got 4 After Image Techniques, so it's our Sparking 5. It's our, I'm going to call it a counter attack. It's not a negate, but it gives our leader plus 40k, and then one of our opponent's battle cards minus 10k for the duration of the battle. So it's similar to a negate, but it's able to get over big things and kind of deal with things that way. And it's Sparking, so we can play it for free when we have 5 cards on the drop. Especially if we flip early, we kind of get our drop filled up, and if they're not able to like deal damage to us, we can start taking cards from our life this way if we need to. But all in all, like I said, I think it's a really fun deck. It's more a fun deck than it is necessarily competitive, but we're being able to control the board. If they play a lot of 1-drops and things like that, Vados just kind of takes advantage of that. It works really good in the Kid Ku matchup, because with their 1-drop Gokus and Android 8s and things like that, she can just swing in at 20k on her flip side, and they're going to have to combo a ton if they want to save it, which isn't doing well for their resources. And then you've got Chile, that if you do KO it, they're discarding more cards and everything like that. So all in all, like I said, a lot of synergy going on here. We're able to use a lot of the new cards. We've got the expansion packs, we've got the championship packs, we've got and the anniversary box. So all in all, guys, that is it, and let us know what you think about the deck down below, and we will see y'all next time.